John, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well.
So it's that time of year again.
Yep. Yep. Time to start going through the videos.
Yeah, so V2 finale, the second, I guess V2, it's actually V squared, right?
V squared
So
two.
V squared 2 happened, and again, it was a great success.
Yeah.
And we have some really good matches to show our viewers. So for those of you, kind of run through it right quick, what is V2 or V squared, and how do they get points?
Well, I mean, it's pretty simple, actually. We have an entire thing at fclasspointseries.com where you can see all the rules, but you just have to go to a match where there's at least 5 of you, either in F Open or FTR. There's a really simple method for calculating how many points can be awarded. Anybody who attends or match directors can turn those scores in. Again, the submission information is on the website, but you just turn in those scores and then we just add you to the leaderboards. And over the entire year, from March 1st to the end of February, we just accrue points, and the top 32 in Open and the top 32 in TR are invited. Obviously, if people can't attend, then we start working our way up the list, or down the list, I guess it would be. But, I mean, really, it attracts a very, very small but incredibly talented group of shooters. I mean, you're literally talking about, top 32 Open shooters in the country, top 32 TR shooters in the country that are attending this thing.
Right. So the cool thing about this is it's not like the first place, or that's the one thing I'm trying to explain.
The aggregate versus pair fire.
No, the person that has the most points,
Yeah.
like spot number 1 versus spot 32, that
Yeah.
doesn't mean one is better than the other. It just means
No.
it just means they're you're invited. That's all that means. That is not in any way going to help you, because
No.
anybody can take anybody out.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, literally, it's pair fire, right? So if number one, if number one is you and number 32 is me, I just have to have a better day, that match, and I'm going to take out number one. All I got to do is beat you 2 out of 3 matches that day, and that's it.
Yeah, and it's double elimination, so even if you lose, you still have a chance to fight back.
Yeah, exactly.
Which has happened. It happened last year in Open.
Yeah, yeah.
And
we won't give any spoilers to this year.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to tell you what happened this year. But anyway, let's get into it. We're going to explain real quick what you're going to see, because we did change the layout a little bit.
And I think that's really great. I think we got a lot of feedback last year when we did these videos, what people really enjoyed seeing. Obviously, you can see we have the shot marker impact there. We ranged. I mean, you really, for those that don't know, Eric, 100% did, open to close on this filming all day long. He didn't compete. You were there strictly filming and helping make sure that we could turn these into, educational videos for people. And you can see this year we've got that huge field. Now we get to see all the flags in play at once, which you weren't able to do last year.
Well, last year I set up a spotting scope and I picked 2 flags. But as you know, 2 flags, sometimes people were confused because they said, well, the shot went left, but the flags were showing right. Well, it's because I wasn't showing the entire field. This year, I decided I'm going to show the entire field. And also, we have this Wind Zero. This is an experimental software wind reading system. I'm sure you're going to hear about it pretty soon, but this thing is amazing. Can you explain what the Wind Zero is?
Yeah, so one of our fellow competitors, who is a computer genius, designed this. It's a ultrasonic wind reader that feeds back in real time. So literally, it's updating every 1 or 2 seconds. And in this particular case, he brought 3 of these. So you'll see at the top of the screen there, we have one of these sensors all the way down at the end of the 1,000-yard line by the targets. We have another one at 600 yards, and then one at 200 yards. And really what that's going to do is that's going to show us what is the wind really doing compared to what are we seeing maybe in the terrain or the flags, the trees, different things that we look at. So it's really a true, what would you call it, like running total of what the wind is doing at any given time.
Right. Well, this is a I guess you can say live feedback. Like the flags, they're heavy, right? They have a delay in them just because of the
weight.
the weight, and also they have inertia. So the flag's up and the wind dies down, the flag's not gonna fall down automatically, right? So the flag has a built-in delay, I guess you can say. But anyway, however, these meters, they are on the left side of the range. So, and they're below the flag, so they're not identical to the flags, but we found them to be very, very accurate. But anyway.
And something else I just wanted to point out, because I know I had some questions last year, and I get questions about this all the time, but if we look at this picture right now, that flag in the upper left corner there, for those that aren't familiar with F-class flags, that is a 12-foot long flag. So, these flags out there, those are big, heavy flags. So those are 12 feet by, I think, 4 or 5 feet tall. They are deceivingly big when you see them. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you guys can see the entire field now. As you can see, I was laughing because I was getting some texts from people while I was filming, and they kind of wanted a live update from me, and I'm like, hey, I'm busy, I'm filming, but they were saying it looks really, because I sent the picture, they said it looks really calm out there. I'm like, yeah. From your couch, it's calm, but it's not. And so anyway, let me explain these meters right quick. Like you can see the 1,000 yard, it shows the direction, it shows the 3. The 3 is the miles per hour. The next one is 7, that's the 7 miles an hour. And then of course 6. So that's what that number means. But you can see they're 2 of them are pointing towards us and the other one's going away. So it's quite a tricky range. But
yeah.
Anyway, this is David Christian versus Tracy Harrold, F Open. This is day 2. This is on Saturday. Up until this point, they are both undefeated.
Yeah.
And you know what happens when 2 undefeated people meet in the format that we have? Someone going to
defeated.
lose. You cannot tie. If both shooters are tied at the end of their so it's best 2 out of 3. If they go to the third one and they end up being tied on score and V's, obviously, then they have to keep shooting until somebody shoots a lower score. So there's going to be no ties. So that's that.
Yeah.
All right. You ready, John?
I'm ready. And I mean, we should take a minute just to, for those that weren't there and don't know, this is a match. The reason it's called V Squared is because we have 2 exclusive sponsors, and that's Vortex and Vihtavuori Powders. And without them, this match wouldn't happen.
Correct. Yeah, they are extremely generous, and they're really doing a lot for the shooting sports. So go support them.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get into it.
All right, here we go. This is match 1. Again, David Christian, Tracy Harrold, and 15 shots. Here we go.
Yeah.
So Tracy goes first.
Yeah.
And she nails a V right out of the gate.
And for those that don't remember from last year, this target, while it looks different, is exactly the same dimensions as the US targets that we use that are like an X and 9. So the V is simply where X would be, the 5 is where 10 would be, and the 4 is where 9 would be.
Right. So the 5 is 1 MOA, the V is half MOA, and the 4 is 2 MOA. Real quick on the scoring. 15 shots for record. You have 2 siders, which are convertible. What that means is you can convert your second sider or both. You cannot convert only the first one. So, for example, David just shot a 4 for his first sider, and Tracy shot a V, right? If she shoots, let's say she shoots a 4 next, she obviously, if she doesn't want the 4, she doesn't get to convert that V. The only way she can do it is if she converts both. Now, let's say David shoots a 5 on his next shot, he could decide to take the second shot, and now that counts for score, and then he only has 14 shots to go. So that's how that works. They also have a 45-second limit to shoot.
Yeah. Well, she's going to take those.
Yeah, so she shot a V and a 5, so she took both. So now her score is 10, 1 V.
Yeah, she's got a V5. She's got 13 shots left. We'll see what David does here.
Right.
Oof.
He shot a
I'll
5.
take the second one.
Okay.
So he converted the 5. Now,
Yep.
if I'm David right now, what are you thinking? I mean, he shot a 4 low, and now he almost shot another 4 up high.
Yeah. You know, like I probably have a little bit of an advantage just because I shoot with him every week. I mean, like everybody here, this guy's got dialed guns, but he's probably just wondering, have I blown out the gun all the way? Is it totally fouled out? I know he went down and fouled his gun before this, but I'm thinking he's just going to hold center and see what it does again.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
So that's gotta feel good.
Yeah, because you didn't see him. He didn't touch his scope. Did you notice? No
No,
adjustments, nothing.
Right. No, he's confident.
Yeah,
Which
so
is good.
that second one dialed it in.
Speaking of dialed in, look at Tracy.
Man, you know, she's a machine, though. You and I have shot with her for a while now, and I mean, you talk about cool as a cucumber. Like, she doesn't rattle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I taught her everything she knows. Anyway, so you see the wind is pretty mild,
Yeah.
but still, you got to have a good shooting gun.
Yeah, well, and you know, we talk about this every year, but you know, a mild tailwind is still as treacherous as a heavy crosswind. You know, I
Right.
mean, there's nothing to shake a stick at when you've got 4 mile an hour switching between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock.
Well, what I was about to say is even if the guns are, you have a really good gun, you can still fall behind
Yeah.
because of the V count, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, they're both clean right now, but
yeah, but
You
David technically is ahead, right? Because he's got only 4 shots and he's already got 3 Vs, whereas Tracy's
Right,
got 5
right.
shots and 3. So technically, David's ahead. But you know, there's still a lot of shooting left to do.
yeah.
Oh, Tracy, that's her second
Yeah.
low shot.
Yeah, and I'm waiting to see. Yeah, see, look, her hand's right there on the turret.
Yeah.
So I didn't.
I think she
I
was.
didn't see it move, but I think she was going to.
Yeah, I think it was a. You know, 1 low 5 is okay, but 2 low ones. In the meantime, David just seems to be getting tighter and tighter. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you get relaxed as you know your gun's shooting well, and then you see your opponent not all of a sudden not shooting as well. I think it relaxes you and makes you shoot better.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's hard to explain. We've tried, you know, we've talked about this in the past, but and pretty much any of the guns on the line at this point fall in this category. But you know, these guns are so dialed in. You know, your gun, my gun, their guns. You get to a point where, like, once you know the gun is going to go where you want it to go, it changes how you approach the match because you're not fighting it.
Right. Yeah, when you have a crisp gun,
Yeah.
you can you can trust it,
Yeah.
and you also know when I
Oof.
don't know. Yeah, David's just just putting the pressure on.
Yeah, and I mean that's 2.5 inch circle at 1,000 yards. I mean,
5 inches.
or a 5 inch circle rather. Yeah, 5 inch circle.
Yeah, Tracy just can't seem to find that V ring anymore. She was drilling it at first, and again, you know, she's clean, which is a great
Yeah.
feat, but she's still behind.
Yeah. And I mean, I know we're just getting into these videos, but 2 Vs, it might as well be a mile. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, look at that!
Ooh.
All of a sudden, but look at the meters. Look at the 1,000 yard and the
Yeah.
600. They're kind of pushing that way.
you know, it's funny when David shot that V or shot that 5 up there, I saw him. He kind of smiled just a little bit, like,
Like,
I think
oops.
he knew he was lucky to catch that one.
Yeah, you kind of feel lucky when that happens. Yeah, and Tracy's hanging down low. I don't know if she compensated off of David's shot and was worried that she'd go out the top.
Yeah.
It's hard to know.
It's weird, right? Because her last one was low left. This one was low right. even if she came up a little, she might be dancing outside the V ring.
Yeah. And David's still up there.
Yeah, knowing David, he's going to shade. I don't think you're going to see him touch his dial. I bet you he just starts shading a little low, which I know is not your favorite term, but but I know him, and I know he's not going to be dialing on this. So I bet you the next one's in line. But
yeah, in the meantime, look at Tracy. All of a sudden she hits a V, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden David, see, I don't know what's going through David's head right now, but you know what I mean. When he was shooting really good, you can call it a head. He seemed to be shooting better. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a tested competitor. He ain't gonna let pressure get to him. But it just seems like you shoot better when you're calm, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm watching how he shoots. So, one of the things you and I always look for is, what's the time behind the gun? How fast are they coming off? How fast are they looking at targets? And I've noticed these last couple shots, even though he's dialing the V's in, he's coming off his scope a lot faster than normal.
Yeah, he's again, I think that's tension, right? You kind of tend to do things that you typically wouldn't do.
Yeah. And then watch Tracy. Like, she's taking a little more time. She's behind it a little bit more. And
look at that.
Yeah, that
doesn't get any more perfect than that.
Man. I wish I could explain to people what it feels like to shoot clean and still have it feel like you're shooting misses.
Whoa.
Where'd that come from?
David just dropped the 4 out the bottom. So remember, he was all right. Let me take a hang on. What did I do? Hang on. So remember, David was shooting a little high the whole time, and you said you're not going to see him dial, but he's probably going to shade. Obviously, I don't know if he did, but that was a pretty deep 4.
Yeah.
Now let me try to get back where we were at, because I just lost it.
So here comes the 4.
It was right after her perfect V, too.
Yeah.
Add insult to injury, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so David's looking at that 4 going, where did that come from? There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah, and who knows if he got bid on shading? He could have just had if he was shading and had a round that was a little off or something.
I don't know that he would shade that low, right? But like you said, it's we don't know what he was doing, but look at him now. He's back on the scope. I think it surprised him, because he's on the scope now, going, "What the heck is out there?"
And I'm not watching velocities, but let's see. So, it would have been interesting to see what the velocity at target was on that 4.
I can go back.
Let's see what that 4 prints on him.
Nope, it's all the same.
So 1705 was her shot, and then let's see what his is.
1710. Let me go to his previous shot. 1704. So it's within his. I don't think it was something else went wrong.
Yeah. And it doesn't take much, right? Like.
Oh well, yeah, it's tiny friggin' circle out there. I mean, it looks big here on the screen, but it's only 10 inches. The entire 5 ring is 10 inches.
Yeah, and what is it, like a millimeter difference at muzzle is like an inch at 1,000 or something? Like, it's some crazy.
Yeah, it's like 5,000, like 4,000 at the muzzle is like 4 inches or 5 inches at 1,000. So yeah, it's crazy. All right, he's back in.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the V count like crazy.
Yeah, but at this point, the V's don't matter, right?
Wait, what's going on? Tracy seems to be having an issue.
Oh, she
couldn't chamber that round. Okay.
Oh, she's rattled. Now, she's got 45 seconds here.
Yeah. All right. That's good. She's still under control. She's going through her check. And, oh, no. It won't close. All right.
Run, Tracy.
Man. Now the clock's running.
Oh, yeah.
If she doesn't get in time, it's another shot. Yeah.
Oh, geez, she just kicked her butt, her rear bag.
Yeah,
Did you see it?
she just moved everything over. All right, she's gonna try it.
So what did she? She grabbed a.
Okay.
It looked like a cleaning rod, right?
Well, like a bar mop.
A bar mop. Yeah.
Now she has to adjust her bag. I mean, this is a pressure shot for sure.
Right. And
Look at
if
it.
you're David, like, pause it for a second here. But when you're in a match like this, you know, David's behind, and being behind a point with this, I mean, they've only got a couple shots left, right? And this is his only chance. He's probably thinking, like, I don't want to win it this way, but if I'm going to get a point back from her, it's going to be here. Because let's face it, this is one of those situations.
He would get 5 points.
Right. He would get 5 points.
Okay, so if she doesn't get the shot off,
right,
in the allotted time, right, she loses 5 points.
Right.
But even if she gets there on time, it's still a lot of pressure. I mean, look at everything. She broke her position. She disrupted her setup. She ran. I mean, this is CrossFit type stuff.
Her heartbeat's up. I mean, everything's different. So if you're David, you're thinking, okay, I think I might get, like, I have to admit, watching this, I'm kind of assuming she's going to throw a 4 here. Like, you got to assume, like, you know, she might catch a 5, but the reality is it wouldn't surprise anybody if she threw a 4 here.
Now let's add to the pressure that she's feeling, or you know, at least try to explain a little better. She's ahead right now by 1 point.
Yeah.
But if she drops 1 point, now she's behind because she's behind on the V count.
Right. Yeah. 3 Vs. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a big shot coming up.
Yeah.
There he goes. And she catches a 5. Look at her. Look at her. She went right back to setting up her stuff, trying to calm herself down.
Yeah, I'm not sure why she jumped up, but
well, she moved her whole setup. She jumped up to fix all that up. She's making sure. Look at that. She's working on her. She is doing exactly what she needs to be doing. She's worrying about the next shot. She got that one off, and she caught a 5. And if I'm Tracy right now, I'm happy.
Yeah, and at this point, all she has to do is hit her next 5 or V, and she automatically wins.
Yeah.
So this is the critical shot right here. This is
the one. If she hits a 5, she wins. If she hits a 4, she leaves the door open for David.
Nice shooting.
Oh,
that's it. That's it.
Okay, I guess David concedes. He's not going to shoot the
Now,
rest.
David technically could, if for some reason there was, let's say there was more wind, or let's say there was something, David still had a couple shots left. He could have technically finished it out and shot those without conceding.
Right. But he decided that, you know, it's pointless to shoot. I mean, she shot clean.
Yeah.
That's 15 shots at 1,000 yards inside of 1 MOA through what she went through.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
All right, match 2. So Tracy's up by 1.
And if she wins this, then he loses 1 round.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't get eliminated, but he would go to the one loss side.
Yeah.
All right, so because Tracy won, now she gets to go first.
Yeah.
And earlier, because they were both undefeated, they're facing each other. Whoever was higher in the rankings.
The seeding. Yeah, and for those that wonder why we do it that way, I mean, you know, 1, it's just an easy, arbitrary thing to do. But 2, in theory, the higher seed probably has a little more experience or whatever that's gotten them to that point. And so we gave the advantage in the start to the secondary person to see what that top seed does with their first shot.
Yeah, it's definitely an advantage. Well, when it's windy, it's an advantage for the second shooter. However, you don't know where they're holding, so it's I don't know that I would call it an advantage, but we just have to figure out a way for somebody to shoot first. So that's what we came up with. All right, here we go.
All right,
match 2. Tracy is on, man. Like, she's focused. Look at that. Perfect water line. She missed the wind call a little bit.
Yeah, she definitely was upwind on that one.
Yeah. Well, you say that, but I mean, she missed it by that much.
I know. I know.
And she may have been safe siding, right? I
Sure.
mean, she's trying to jump in. I bet you she's safe sided. She's like, I don't
Yeah.
care if I catch a 5. I just want to catch something.
Right. Give me something that's convertible.
Right.
Side or 1.
Now, they're both dialed in by now, right?
Yeah.
They already shot one match.
Yeah.
They took about a 10-minute break after that match, and now they're doing their second. And so their guns should be dialed in as far as the elevation, and they should know what the wind's doing.
4 set or 2?
Oh, no.
Oh.
She I don't know. I don't know what happened, because the first one was upwind and the second one was farther upwind. I don't know.
Man.
I don't know what happened. I don't know if the wind changed.
Yeah. So at this point, if I'm David, I just want to stick one in the 5 ring.
Yeah, because you'll be two shots ahead, and
Yeah.
you're putting the pressure on them.
Oh.
Look at that. I mean, he caught a 5, but so it's in the conditions.
Yeah,
Something out
definitely.
there is doing that, because
But
they
look,
both,
look at the flag on the left side. Look at the second flag on the left.
yeah, it's going that way.
All right, you got it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I John, I'd call it, but there's no sir. I don't have my vibrators on.
You can hear me in the background.
Really? We could? Let me go back. Let me turn up the volume. I don't know.
Don't listen to what I said.
Okay, 5 and 5. Confirm? Sorry? You got it? Oh, yeah, I just John, I'd call it, but there's no sir. I don't have my vibrators on.
Okay. That was definitely you. Anyway, back to the match.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow, Tracy's struggling here.
That is her first shot for record, by the way.
Yeah, she can't do anything about that one.
And that's her second 4 in a row. Now she's adjusting her windage. Now, did you see what she did there? She adjusted her windage. That is something that I typically do myself. She's obviously out of sync with the condition.
Yeah, she's
so
off a little.
instead of trying to recalibrate her head or her mind, her vision, or whatever she's using, she's obviously consistent, but she's off center. So she just dialed her scope. That way she doesn't have to change anything. All she's doing is she's moving her group towards the center. That is super smart. That is super smart.
Yeah.
Of course, but she's already a point behind. And see, David, he almost lost 2 shots in a row where they kind of both hanging on the edge, but David is clipping 5s and Tracy's clipping 4s.
You know, and
it's
that's usually
frustrating.
happening because they're seeing something that isn't real.
Right.
Let's see if she fixes it.
There you
go.
go. I told you.
Thank you.
She figured I don't have to change anything. I'll just move over.
Yeah.
Because, she put 2 4s pretty much. Well, her first 3 shots have been pretty much on top of each other wind-wise.
Yeah.
So all she did is shift her scope over and hammer down. Same hold.
But, the reality is the damage is done with that first record shot.
For sure. But at least it happened early, and she fixed it. Hopefully she can pull off a win, or at least not fall too far behind. 1 point. Yeah, you don't want to be a point behind, but David did lose a point on the first match, so
That's right.
she's probably thinking I'm not completely out, but it doesn't feel good.
No, and when you're in these kinds of matches, like at least to know that your competitor has thrown a 4,
Yeah.
mentally it helps you just say, okay, let me just shoot clean. I know that they can make a mistake. It's really tough when you go up against the guy who's, just nailing the V's and maybe throws a 5, right?
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
5, 3 on.
Thank you.
All right, so she's 3 shots in. She's 1 point down.
Yeah.
David's obviously clean, but they're not hitting that V ring. you know?
No, I mean, both guns are opening up a little bit. I mean, neither one of them is shooting like a half-minute vertical. I mean, they're getting,
Look at that.
they're getting out of it.
Look at that. Now David almost lost it on the other side. So whatever condition, look at the 600-yard meter. It's pushing that way.
Yeah. And look at the flag on the left. It's picked up quite a bit.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's interesting. If you look at David's spotting scope pole, he's got a little piece of ribbon on it.
Yeah.
I know we're a little protected under there, but virtually no wind movement at muzzle.
Right. Yeah, David's being very careful here. He keeps checking the scope.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's trying to figure out what the heck's going on. You know, what am I missing, right? Now, look at that. I mean, he's close. He's close.
Yeah.
He just can't get it centered up. Now, for context, right? They're trying to shift it over 2.5 inches.
I mean, that big. That's how big the V ring is.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to read the wind that close, but they're trying. In the meantime, Tracy's she got centered up.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, David at this point's just shooting for clean, right? Like that should, like, we all shoot for V's, but you know, at this point, he doesn't want to make a critical mistake.
Right. They both found the V ring now.
You notice how their guns tightened up a little bit too? Like, they're not doing anything different, but I think they're both settling down a little bit. You know, there's just a little less user operator causing some of that vertical.
Right. The commentator curse.
That's still not too far out the V ring though.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. If I'm Tracy, you know, I wanna be nailing the V ring because you want to be at least ahead on the V count in case he drops a point.
Right, because then you instantly flip flop. Yeah.
Right, but if you're behind on the V count and on the points,
then you got to hope for 2 miracles.
Wow.
What the?
Wow. Let's go see if we can't. What the heck just happened?
So we're going to assume that he's holding upwind on the left side. So,
but I mean, David's an experienced wind reader. There's no reason, unless you see that flag way down there. Yeah, it's going the other way, but there's no way he would have held that far out there.
Look at the 1,000-yard meter.
He said something. He said something to her right as he shot.
He said, "Jerked it."
I jerked it.
Oh, he called it.
That's
he said, I jerked. He sure did. Wow. Well,
there's the door.
There's the door, and Tracy's technically ahead because she's 2 shots behind, and she's already got them tied on V's, like that. Now she's ahead technically, right? Wow. All of a sudden, plot thickens.
Man, I mean, the flags aren't changing a lot. You're getting some difference on the wind meter, but I mean, David's got to really get it tight here because he's got to win this one or else he's out.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What the?
That's 2 4s in a row.
And I mean, they're more than halfway through. Oh, they're right exactly halfway through.
It's amazing how it changes. And this is what I was talking about. Tracy neither of them could find the V ring, but at least they were centered up, right? And David, we're talking about how all he needs to do is keep it clean, right? And he seemed to have no issue doing that. All of a sudden, he jerks the shot, he hits a 4. Now he comes back with another 4, and all of a sudden, Tracy starts to hit V's, right?
Yeah.
It's like her pressure is going
And for
down.
David, this is like the worst kind of 4, right? Because, you know, there's one thing if he ping pong 4s to the left and right, because then he goes, okay, Like that was just a bad win call. But now he's got a compounding factor of what the hell threw my shot up there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not comforting. I mean, that's not comforting at all.
Well, yeah, and then again, much worse that his gun seems to be opening and hers is getting tighter.
Tightening. Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh.
On.
Look at
Okay.
that.
Dial it, Dave. Come on, dial it.
Yeah.
Put a click in.
Do
Put a click in.
something. Yeah, safety click it, man.
But yeah, and look, he's wheeling. So I mean, this is something we talk about. You know, he's wheeling his spotter, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, like we kind of go back and forth on whether that's the right approach or not sometimes. But you know, sometimes you just want to leave it so that you can see the changes. And then in his case, he's probably searching like, okay, is there a better mirage that's telling me the truth? Because it's a little late in the game to probably be looking for that. But
Yeah.
you know, that tells me that he's feeling a little bit lost with his calls.
But look at this. The roles seem to have flip-flop, right? Earlier on the previous match, or maybe earlier in this match, Tracy was hitting 4s and David was hitting 5s right next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now they have flip-flop. You know, Tracy just shot up there, but she caught a 5. That's, you know, David kind of got lucky in the second one. He caught a 5, but he caught a 4 up there as well. So the last 3 shots have been up there. So something's going on.
Yeah. Huh. Boy.
I mean, he's just walking that fine line.
I mean, if I told you something else about how David's shooting compared to what I know about how he shoots, I'm curious to see if it changes. But David's shooting 2 legs wide open right now. And I will tell you, under normal conditions, before he takes a shot, he brings his leg over, takes the shot, and then uncrosses them. And he's very methodic about it. But you can see his legs are staying spread this whole time, which tells me that he's not in his normal relaxed state. Because normally when I shoot with him, he crosses over and uncrosses. It's very rhythmic, very, very cadence based. And see, he's very fidgety with his legs, which you normally don't see. So he's definitely feeling like, I got to get this together here.
Yeah.
There he goes.
And he can't hit a freaking V, man. Tracy, in the meantime, cool as a cucumber.
Yeah. So now David's got to catch a 4 from her. Like, she needs to drop a 4, and he needs to make up 3 Vs.
Yeah, look, this is exactly what I was saying. You see that? He hit a 5, and she comes back and she hits a V, right? I mean, they stacking the shots, but she's just a little bit better. You know, the luck is on her side on this one.
And she's only got 4 shots left.
Lucky Tracy.
V 11 on.
You know, that's her nickname.
Lucky Tracy.
LT. I think that's what it was. Either way, I mean, there's no luck here. I mean, we can joke about it all day long, but there is no luck. She's good.
She's a hell of a shooter.
5, 13 on.
Yeah, David just can't seem to hit it.
No. So Tracy's got 4 shots left here. She just needs to keep these 4 shots clean, and the match is hers.
Not only that, she's also 2 shots behind.
That's right. David's only got 2 shots left.
Which means her last 2 shots, she gets to string fire.
Yeah. So the only way David can win at this point is if she drops 2 4s.
Yeah. And like I said, she's behind, so she gets to string fire the last 2 shots.
Side 12 on.
Thank you.
Boy.
Oh, man.
All right, so David's got 2 shots left.
She clicked it down. She clicked it down.
So David's about to put this in her hands. He's got 1 shot left.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a close one.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, David's gun just opened up. And it's probably him.
5,
Yeah,
Thank you.
he's moving. Like, if you watch his body, his whole body has shifted on that AstroTurf.
Yeah.
He's changed his physical body location on the AstroTurf. So she's got 2 shots left.
No,
He's got 1 shot.
She's got 2 and he's got 1. But like I said earlier, he's gonna shoot his 1, and then she gets to shoot her 2 back to back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she would have to drop 2 4s.
Yeah.
And even if you shoot right, and you miss the wind call, because you have that advantage of shooting back to back, you can make the adjustment and go.
Yeah, I mean, she gets to string fire those last 2, so.
Yeah.
You actually had a 4 on your 3rd shot.
Yeah.
All right, so
she's wondering, when are you going to shoot?
You converted 2 5s and then your next one was. Oh yeah, okay.
She's ready to win. She's got his back's back. She's like, I'm going to go celebrate.
Now, okay, pause it for a second here. So, if you're David, and I mean, we can speculate about how people play games with pair firing, but I know David doesn't play games, but strategically, the longer you make Tracy wait, you can see her getting a little anxious. Mm-hmm. She wants to put this one to bed.
Yep.
Is there some advantage to him taking longer, or do you think in a case of this where we've got top competitors that it really makes a difference?
It's hard to say, John. I mean, I think at this point, David just needs something. I mean, I don't know if he's doing it on purpose. I think really what he's doing is he wants to make sure that he doesn't fall 3 points behind. Because then she would have to shoot a 3 and a 4, right?
Yeah.
I think he's just trying to make sure that he clips a 5.
Yeah.
So that he can still stand a very small chance.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, none of these shooters have shot 2 4s in a row.
No.
Tracy did at the beginning, as a matter of fact. So I guess they have, but it's very rare.
Yeah.
B, all out.
Well, there you go. So now she gets 2 shots. She's ahead on the V count. So just needs 2 5s, or actually a 5 and a 4, and she wins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
wow. Well, again, like I was saying, all she has to do is move over from her last hold. You know what I mean?
But she's taking so long right now.
Yeah, she needed to string fire that. It's okay. The conditions haven't changed much. Wow, come on, Tracy. Come on.
But she's taking her time. Now she's scared, right? So instead of looking at it as an advantage, mentally, she's like, I think she's gone from I can win this to I don't want to lose this. And that's a very different mentality.
Yeah, but look at the flags. They're dead. All she has to do is move over. But yeah, I mean, she's wondering where the heck did that come from? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, here's the other thing, right? She is keeping David's score.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she knows what her score is.
Oh, she may not know her V count.
Right. So she may have thought, I don't know what she thought. You know what I mean? It's hard. It's hard to say. But anyway, again, last 2 she gets a string fire, so I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Man, she took forever.
Oh! Wow.
It did, but the mirage is still. I know 1.
She took so long on that follow-up shot.
Wow. Oh.
Man.
All right, John. I'm already drained. That was intense.
And all joking aside, this is how every single match was this weekend.
Oh, man.
Like there were no easy matches through this whole thing.
Wow. Okay. All right. Match 3. So this one decides it all.
Yeah.
Man, I'm already exhausted.
So this sends someone forward and someone to the loser bracket.
Yeah. Here we go.
What is it, 5?
So David.
Okay.
Now, David's gun was opening up on the last one. So I think if either way the advantage goes to Tracy, I think her gun.
Yeah, her
is
gun was
shooting better.
definitely tighter. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, there was nothing done to the guns. They took a 10-minute break and they got back at it. So, you know, based on what we know, David's gun is bigger. You know.
Yeah.
So the advantage would go to Tracy if I had to.
And is Tracy shooting a Magnum?
24 Shaheen, baby.
Shit, Shaheen.
Master
Okay.
race. Wow, she's out there again. Okay, well, it's okay. It's okay. That was just a confirmation 4. But look at her water line.
You know, here's the only other thing I'll say, you know, on Tracy's side. If you look at practice day and you look at Friday, there were matches where she was using a spotting scope and matches where she wasn't using a spotting scope. So she was definitely inconsistent on when she was choosing to use a spotting scope. And I can't help but wonder if that is biting her a little bit here.
I don't know, but in the meantime, David came to fight.
Yep. So he's 2 on.
Yeah.
So choose a 5.
Okay, she's still hanging out to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's still over on the left side.
So I you know, if you look at actual shooter position and you look at like how the shooters are handling it, Tracy's definitely faster on the trigger and faster coming off the gun than she was on that first match where she seemed a lot more controlled. You know, just minute differences. But if you watch Tracy shoot, watch how fast she comes off the gun now. She was probably 1 or 2 seconds slower throughout the entire first match.
Right.
And that makes a difference.
That's what I told him.
That's what I didn't get.
Yeah,
Try to do the best you can with what we got right now. Hope that the next
She's definitely taking her time now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That can't feel good.
No. You know, and you know, David is such a mental competitor, right? Like, he's pretty unflappable. You know, he's got a lot of experience in other sports, and he's incredibly mentally disciplined. You know, so I know he's just in that do my game. That's all I have to do. You know, kind of mode, and especially because he's kind of in the driver's seat at this point. This has got to be a very comfortable position for him, even though.
Yeah, you say that, and he almost lost the he almost lost the shot out to the left. Yes, I mean, but Trey, I don't know. I don't know that I would give the edge to anybody at this point. This format is so tough because, you know, after another 10 shots or so, one of these guys is going to the loser bracket or the one loss bracket.
You think so? You've shot a lot more pair firing than I have. She looked jostled on that one.
Yeah. Oh my God! Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
Speaking of flip flopping, now he's hitting the 5s and she's hitting the 4s. Wow.
And it's quarters of an inch.
Oh yeah. What were you gonna ask me about pair fire?
Well, okay, so you know, like you shot a lot more pair firing up in Canada and other matches.
Sorry, but look at this.
Oh, he matched her.
But he's getting the 5s.
Yeah.
He's hit 2 5s out there, and she hit a 4. So
yeah,
she's smiling at this point, going, "How?
Yeah.
Look at her. She's like, how is this happening to me?"
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So back to pair fire.
Well, so you know, have you traditionally seen any inherent difference? So if somebody wins first match, loses second, is there a statistical side that people fall on? Do the people who win the first match have trouble after losing a second one coming back for the third, as opposed to the person who wins the second and feels like they have more momentum?
I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. I mean, the way our format works, there's a few hours between
5, 6 on.
anyway, unless you're on Sunday. But
I just mean even between the three of them. You know, she won the first one. You know, she gave away the second one, basically. That's a tough way to go into the third match.
it is. And then you start off with a 4 on the, she's already 2 points behind.
God, and their guns are just shooting really big right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just clipping these 5s and 4s.
It's funny to say that. People that are not used to shooting F-class, you know, they're saying, like, these guys are hitting a one-and-one target repeatedly, and we're talking about how big the guns are shooting. But in F-class, you want your gun to be shooting half MOA. You want to be clipping that V-ring every time.
Yep.
If you're not hitting, if you're not shooting clean with at least minimum 60% V count, it's hard to stay on in this field. You know what I mean?
D6 on.
Thank you.
All right. She seems to be relaxing.
Yeah.
That visor, she seems to be fiddling with that quite a bit.
Yeah, and I swear I saw the scope hit it at one point.
Yeah, I'm gonna start paying attention to that, because that is a distraction. Anything that you have to mess with, besides reading the wind and getting there it goes again.
I think her adjustment ring is hitting it. If you look, I think her power adjustment is clipping it once in a while.
Now I'm focused on that instead of the. Look at that. She's just barely keeping it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Her gun was shooting so flat earlier.
Yeah. And she's still 2 points behind. So.
There goes that visor again. You see that?
Yeah.
She adjusted it again. In the meantime, David.
That's 3 V's in a row.
There goes the visor again. She adjusted it one more time.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, did you see that? David just pulled 3 V's in a row.
Oh, yeah.
But this is how fast these matches change. You know, I mean, literally, Tracy had this thing sewn up with 2 shots left. And
she's taking a long time to shoot. She's not comfortable. She's not confident.
No.
You know
she's
what I mean?
Looking.
Yeah.
Trying to get a read.
Well, I mean, the last shot, she almost lost it. So.
Where's this one going to go?
Oh. Look at that.
Well, you know, that's 3 points. You know, that's a lot.
Yeah, especially when David is clean.
You can see it. I mean, you can just see the disappointment in it. You know, like.
And I don't think it's any fault of hers either. Like I said, the gun just shooting big.
Yeah, she just came down a click.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, this is what happens, right?
And she's not making horrible win calls. Like, if you really look at it, within the bracket of the 10 ring or the 5 ring, you know, she's hitting the shots. It's just the gun shooting big enough that she's clipping those corners.
Yeah. In the meantime, all of a sudden, David, his gun shoots totally awesome all of a sudden, you know?
That's four V's in a row.
Yeah. It's incredible how these matches flip-flop like that.
Yeah,
look at that visor again.
Yeah.
Again. She's gonna kick me next time she sees me. Look at David. David all of a sudden is like, cool. There goes that visor again.
Yeah. 5 V's in a row.
Yeah. She seems to be shooting a lot faster now.
Yeah, but see, it's paying off for her. Like, she's shooting more comfortable now, and she just banged 2 V's in a row.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's just too little too late right now.
Well, it's never too late. You just got to try to stay in it.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
Jeez.
David is just killing it all of a sudden. I mean,
yeah.
It's so funny how his gun was big last shoot. Now her gun is big. Now he's not leaving the V ring. Look at her visor.
No.
Look at her visor.
Yeah, it's all crooked.
Look at that. Yeah, and look at the shot. I wonder if there's a correlation between the two.
I told you, if you back up, it's hitting her visor.
I'm gonna go back.
Yeah, watch this. It's gonna shake it.
Oh, it took it completely out.
So
Or
yeah, it's
off.
the adjustment ring. It's clipping.
Yeah. I wonder. I mean, that can interfere with the recoil. I mean,
Yeah.
plus, I mean, you're getting banked around every time you shoot. Wow.
At this point, David's shooting about a 70% V count right now.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, look at the V count all of a sudden. David's way up there.
Yeah.
Look at her visor again.
Yep. She's gonna shake it. Yep.
Yeah.
V12.
Yeah. Next time I see her, I'm gonna cut a notch on that visor, right where the scope goes.
You need to fold it up for her.
She's gonna kick me.
Tell her to wear it like this.
Right?
14 on? Okay.
She didn't
he's
even
got
wait for
one.
she didn't even wait for the last shot. She conceded.
She conceded. Yeah.
All right, I think we're being a little rough on Tracy. Up until this point, she had been like
Hammered.
hammering
Yep.
her competition. I mean, she took down some really good shooters. So I don't want to seem too tough on her, but it's just obviously I filmed this thing, right? But
Yeah.
this is a different point of view. Seeing their faces, seeing how they interact, seeing how the gun handling or their body position or the way they act or the way they shoot fast, they shoot slow, you know, and how it affects the shots on target is a whole another perspective, right?
And people might say, oh well, what's the big deal if it hits her visor? Trust me, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, anything that you have to do besides what you need to be doing is a big deal, right? But anyway, she's not out.
Nope.
She is. She's still in. She goes to the one loss bracket, and David moves on.
yeah. So he's now won 3 matches. Tracy's won 2, lost 1.
Right. So at this point, like I said, David goes to the one. David goes undefeated, and it only gets tougher from there for him. Now, would you say that once you fall to the one loss bracket, you could potentially find easier competitors? Because if you're in the one loss bracket, there's a possibility. For example, Tracy's gun kind of opened up there at the end.
Yeah.
I don't think she lost that match. It was just her gun opened up, right? But that's how she went to the one loss bracket, right?
Yeah.
The chances that she's going to find other shooters that are in the same boat are greater, right? Which means she could potentially have an easier time. However, there's always the shooters, because when 2 really tight guns meet, one of them's still going to go down there. So, I don't know that I can make that argument. There's...
I mean, there were plenty. I mean, what was it? There was one where it was Skogman and Dickerman. Like both their guns were just hammering. Well, somebody's going to drop, and I don't want to be the guy that has to shoot against either one of them. So
who was it? Brian Blake?
Yeah.
Versus Joseph Finley. What's his last name?
Yeah, they shot a combined 2 targets that were like a 4.5-inch group.
Yeah, and they had a crazy V count, but Joe had one more than Brian.
Yeah, it was Brian showed me that target, and I want to say there was what was it? It would have been 64 shots, right? Because it was two matches, so 15, 15, 15, 15. So it was 64 shots, literally all within 4.5 inches at 1,000 yards.
Yeah, and Brian just happened to lose that one.
Yep, by a V.
By a V. Crazy. Anyway, well, there you have it. That was oh man, that one took everything out of me. That was stressful.
And that was that was one of the first matches of the day. So you're sitting there going, I mean, if this is the first match of the day, what's the rest of Saturday have for us?
Yeah. Now, again, the matches started on Friday.
Yeah.
And so they shot all day on Friday. Saturday, this is the first match on Saturday. So they already got some shooting under the belt, and they at this point they each had sent 2 people to the loser bracket or the 1 loss bracket. 1 or 2.
David sent 3, right? Because he sent his first guy, his second one, and then Tracy.
Well, no, but before they met. That's what I'm saying. By the time they started shooting, they had both won 2 matches.
2 people. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, interesting for sure, and I hope you guys enjoy this format because it's only gonna get better. If you like this one, wait for the next ones. Now on Sunday it gets even more intense because it's only 10 shots.
Sunday was insane.
Right? So Sunday gets more intense because now it's only 10 shots, so it's a shorter race, and all the tight guns is pretty much the only thing that's left.
Yeah, because they're all bubbling to the top.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, John. This was another exciting match. And Tracy, I love you. You shot great. She went on to defeat other people after this. Okay, so she picked her. She picked herself up, dusted herself off, and continued to whoop some ass.
Yeah, and we should mention Tracy made it. At this point, Norm was already out.
I did not mention that.
No, but I mean, man, you talk about Tracy was on. So Tracy was on.
She was killing it. Anyway, John, thank you, and I appreciate the help.
Yeah, it's these matches. It's some of the most incredible people you'll ever hang out with. You learn so much. It's great people. Like, there's no bad people at this match. You go there and it's 64 people that you would invite into your house, that you would have dinner with, that you would, bend over backwards. It's just, they're the best people. They're just the best people to hang out with.
And they can all shoot like lights out.
It's, we're picking, as you said, every match going forward, we're picking sand out of shoes, right? It's the tiniest things that are making the difference in these matches. So, it's nothing against any of the shooters, their gear. These guns are all, any of these guns could win a Nationals or Southwest Nationals. It's the tiniest of details.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
John, thank you. And subscribe if you haven't, because there's going to be a lot more of these matches.
Yeah.
All right.
For sure.
Take care. Thank you, John.
All right, see you, man. All right.
Bye.